Good morning. How are you doing today? Oh, what a day it's been already. So, you got a new shirt. Probably on our way. Might have been a Toro's. What is it? Bets for Vets. All the proceeds for the sale of these jerseys. These are game jerseys. All the proceeds for this year went to this charity for veterans. I was lucky enough to be able to get one of them. Amazing. So, pretty happy I got this one here. It's actually a large. It was not worn in a game. There was not a player who had the number 45. So I got to do this. Be the first one to wear this jersey. It's actually really awesome. I'm really happy I picked this one up. So hey, it's Sunday morning. It's a beautiful day. I had some issues with my computer this morning. I was trying to put some pictures inside the studio, and it just didn't want to work for me today. I saved a bunch of pictures I emailed them, saved them to a folder. The folder doesn't exist. I have no idea where it went. I can't find it. So today is one of those technological difficulty days. So yeah, we'll just go with that. Well, again, today is a weekend meeting for support for anybody having any issues or just needing fellowship today to continue on with their carnivore. It's just something that you can do to come in here, talk on comments, any information, anything that's going on. If you're having trouble with sticking to this way of eating or needing advice for anything, I'm not a doctor, so I can't give you medical advice, but I can tell you what I've done, and I can let you know what I've learned from others who are doing the same thing. But just another beautiful day to hang out, see what's going on. Yesterday was a regular day eating for me. Of course, I had that freaking awesome pork steak for breakfast, and that was really good. I made my wife pork steak a little bit later on just so that she could have one also, and she really enjoyed it too. So we stopped at the store I don't remember what we stopped there to get, but made a beeline back to the meat and grabbed some more pork steaks and a couple more of the Czech eye steaks. So it was actually a pretty good day for me yesterday for eating. I also had some burgers. And I don't know what the heck else I had. I had a bunch of little snacky things through the day because it was a weekend, and that's just what happens. I don't know why. Boredom, I'm not busy. When we're busy out running around doing stuff, it's fine. But as soon as I get home, that changes. But, it is what it is. Today is an alternate day for fasting. So today is my fasting day. And this is one of the hardest days for me. Saturday and Sundays are the worst days for me for fasting. I have to stay busy. I have to stay doing stuff. I get in trouble. It's not where I am comfortable fasting on the weekend. I've always had trouble with doing that. So this is my struggle day for any type of fast at any time. How are you guys doing today? Is everything going all right? Is everybody staying with their diet? What are your plans for eating today? Or are you also doing a crazy thing for fasting? Hey, good morning, Bryce Biscuits. Coming from Kiltz. Good morning, Lance fam. Snow here in New York City. First real accumulation this year. Well, that's awesome. welcome to the club. We've had accumulation out here for about a month now, and some of it might go away here in a couple of days. Our forecast right now for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Monday is supposed to hit up into the mid 30s into the lower 40s. Tuesday, we're supposed to be in the upper 40s to low 50s, near record temperatures here. And Wednesday, going back down into like the mid 30s or low 40s. That's unusual heat wave for North Dakota right now. It doesn't happen all the time. It's not bad, though. I don't mind it. Oh, I do enjoy the cold. It's actually pretty. Love it when it snows out here. One of the only people in my family that enjoys it still. Yeah, most of the country has been getting this. It's quite beautiful. Yeah. See, we hit something on Tuesday. We got hit with rain and temperatures that were below zero. So it really messed a lot of things up. Driving was bad. Most of the schools in our area closed their schools on Monday. They announced that they were closing for Tuesday because you couldn't drive on this. I got lucky. I showed up at work on Tuesday morning and I was like, shit, there ain't nothing on the roads. It's clear. It's not bad. As I'm parking my car, that's when the raindrops started hitting my windshield of my car. And it was like 23 degrees out and it was raining. That instantly froze to the roads, instantly froze to the cars. Within a few minutes, you couldn't drive on the roads. It was bad. But yeah, I was having some technical issues this morning. Terrible day for trying to get stuff on the computer. I was trying to put some information in here that just to show people that carnivore doesn't have to be expensive. I picked up these chuck eye steaks for $9.90 a pound, $9.99. This is basically a ribeye. It's just the part of the ribeye steak that goes into the chuck roll. And so these are $9.99 a pound. These are on the left here are the pork steaks, and those are $3 something a pound. And absolutely delicious. You can buy cheap cuts of meat. You can find the cheap cuts like this here and be able to afford to eat carnivore. If you like ribeyes, you can still buy ribeyes. Now, granted, I bought this this was in August or something like that. When I bought these at Costco. These were at $13.99 a pound when I bought them. That was $13.99 a pound for the whole primal cut, the chuck roast. And these steaks were cut out of a chuck roast. So I was able to save money. And I don't trim the fat off. So you can see the fat in there. Probably about 90% of that fat I did eat. So I got extra fat with everything I was eating. You can make really cheap choices on the carnivore diet, ketogenic diet, to be able to continue eating like this here and not have a large bill. My wife and I have saved a lot of money by eating this way. It's not that hard to do. It's actually pretty darn easy to eat a pretty strict carnivore diet. Like I said yesterday, I had a awesome pork steak. This was my pork steak that I had yesterday. I actually didn't take a picture of my wife's, but it looked just about identical. Absolutely delicious. And I'd never had pork steak before. Last week, and they're talking about pork steaks and Carnivore Quest morning meeting. And it got me curious. And when I was going through the store with my wife, I found those and I was like, man, I gotta buy those. Those are absolutely fantastic. So that's what I did. Or, you can buy a pork tenderloin. Pork tenderloins are cheap. You cut it up and you can make them into big chunks. This is a 4.5 pound tenderloin right here. But we picked that tenderloin up for, it was like $1.29 a pound or something like that. It was on a sale. But I picked up two of them, and they were absolutely delicious. You eat a lot of pork shoulder. Ribeyes do not go on sale here, yeah. $18 a pound, the cheapest I've seen right now. Yep, $23.90. And that's the store where I bought those Chuck Eyes at. The ribeyes are at $23.99. But 80/20 goes for $1.99 a pound, so a staple, and you really enjoy it. I love ground beef. You can make so much with a ground beef. That is absolutely true. It is one of the best things that you can do. Sneeze came out of nowhere. Yeah, eating ground beef, you can do so much with them. You can just make ground beef. You can make power bowls. People don't know what a power bowl is. One of the best ways to describe it is just take ground beef, bacon, eggs, mix it all together, and that's a power bowl. Here's a picture of a power bowl. This has got some of the best energy, best healing abilities for your body. Keeps you satisfied and full for a long time, and it's pretty damn simple to make. We generally keep a lot of bacon in the house, and right now I don't think we actually have. I think there might be 6 slices of bacon left in my fridge. I'm gonna have to stop and pick some of that up for my wife because she does like her bacon. And I don't mind bacon either when I'm not fasting. Again, today is our alternate day fasting. Now, alternate day fasting, there's a couple different ways that alternate day fasting can be done. The premise of it is one day you eat and one day you fast. So you eat whatever your normal meals would be on one day. After your last meal on that day, you start your fast. And you go 24 to 36 hours or 48 hours if you're doing an OMAD, one meal a day. But your stomach gets that break, your body gets to get rid of unnecessary calories, and it allows your body to heal a little bit extra when you're doing this. But some people, if you do a little research on it, alternate day fasting is there's 2 different calorie restrictions on it. Now, the one I go on is I go on 0 calories, a true fasting part of it. Others go off of up to 600 calories a day for your alternate day fasting. So you can have some, you can eat some. It's generally suggested that you have a very high fat calorie intake so that it keeps you satisfied longer. And that should help to make it so that you're able to do your alternate day fasting. Now, I did screw up on my alternate day fasting on Friday. That was my fault. We had a meat and cheese trays at work that were brought in, and I ended up enjoying that, which I shouldn't have. And so it screwed up my alternate day fasting. So I ended up eating on Friday. I'm also going to intentionally mess up my alternate day fasting this coming week because I am also going to be doing a sardine fast this week on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm going to do a 3-day, 72-hour sardine fast just to do one. And that's 4 to 6 cans of sardines in a day and water, and that's it. The sardines have short chain fatty acids in them, and a right amount. And what that does is that gets your liver to produce ketones quicker and more easier. So it's easier for your liver to produce the ketones that your body actually needs. So I'm going to be trying that here. Something I've seen from Dr. Boz, because I watched quite a bit of Dr. Boz's stuff. She's actually really good out there. 6 slices of bacon, less than a serving for me. I usually eat 8. Clean is too expensive though, so it's once a week for me. Otherwise, it's shoulder or chops. Yeah, and I like the pork shoulder. I don't really care for pork chops, but the pork shoulders I do really like them. So, Addie, it's nice to see you too. How are you today? And do you do a carnivore diet? What are you eating today? I plan on doing weekend fast next week with Barbara and friends. You told Thomas you would do a sardine fast with him. We'll see. Yeah. Thomas is actually doing pretty good. I like what he's done, and he's really trying to help his diabetes. He's had some real issues with just diabetes on that. Are you going to join us on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for a sardine fast? That'd be good. I want to get Larry to go do the sardine fast. He'll jump in on that. You never measured, can you feel it? Deep ketosis, Dr. Boz does her ratio of pork chops from rib bone and better than boneless loin. Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's one of the first things that I noticed when I started eating this way is the difference in how I feel. Now my body is used to being in ketosis to a point where when my ketones are below like a 2, I don't notice it. When my ketones get above a 2, it's just I'm a little more clear, a little more focused. I have energy. I don't have the hunger, and my body just seems to be much better at whatever I'm doing at that time. So it's actually pretty cool when you hit into the deeper ketosis. I've hit above 5 just a couple of times, and it's a really different feeling. It's like taking an energy drink and getting energy like right now. It's just weird, but it's nice to have. Yeah, Thomas's journey has been really awesome. He's had some difficulties in there, but he's really done a good job. I like Thomas, and there's a bunch of other people out there. I like the smaller channels, the more personal stuff that they're doing, because you can learn a lot from the different people and what they're going through. Are you gonna try to measure? That'll be version 2.0 of your journey. Yep. And you can get a Keto Mojo, or you can get the ketone test strips that you just need to urinate on it. They give you kind of what it is. I've done both of them before, but I do prefer the Keto Mojo because it tests through the blood, where people have said before, and I guess I never used the test strips long enough, that once your body starts burning ketones regularly and stuff, then the test strips don't seem to work as well. But because it's the ketones that you're measuring in your urine are excess. And once your body gets used to burning ketones and making ketones, then you don't have the excess because your body uses them properly. Yeah, the smaller channels to connect with. And when I first started doing this, I did watch some of the bigger channels. I watched a lot of like Steak and Butter Gal. I watched a lot of the Healing Humanity stuff with Carrie and them, and I learned a lot from the doctors. But I like watching just the regular people. They have amazing stories and the stuff that they've gone through and the stuff that they've done to get where they're at. To me, that's just great. Yeah, and that's right. The test strips don't test they don't react as well to it. Oh, yeah, Dustin and Keto Simple. Dustin's got a lot of good information. He's been doing this for a long time, and I do enjoy watching Dustin. I missed both Dustin and Kiltz this morning. I actually got to sleep in today, so it was actually pretty good for me. But then I took a extremely long shower today because I couldn't have felt amazing to do that. Yeah. I love Bella, but she's much younger, more metabolically healed, and hormones different. Eat half of what she does. Yeah, Bella, she can eat. Oh my God. She's like Dr. Chafee, who can just pound away 3 or 4 pounds of meat in a day, and their body just burns it. It's really amazing. A lot younger too, different journey. That is 100% true. You imagine less than a month away and I'll be 59. Can you imagine if I'd have found this diet when I was in my 20s? Oh my goodness. What a difference this would have made in my life. What would have been different? I'm sure stuff would have been different. But what I went through for the world it led me to where I am now. And I wouldn't want to change any of that. So that's just the way I am. But being out here in the cold, I don't know if being out here in the cold has helped me at all or not. I know there are times where I feel like my body's burning extra energy just trying to stay warm. So when I'm out in the cold and doing stuff out there, I feel better. And even though, like, for the last, from last winter through this summer up until, was it October, the first part of November, when I did a fast, that I hit a reset point and my body temperature actually started to go back up to where it was, where it should have been. Huge change from what I'd been experiencing, because I'd been cold for the first almost a year that I was on carnivore. I just couldn't warm up. I'd take drops of Lugol's iodine in my water or my coffee, and that at times helped to get my body temperature back up. I know I was iodine deficient. Who is it? Nutrition with Judy, Judy Cho. She describes iodine deficiency and how you can test for it and stuff like that at home so that you can find out for yourself. And that's pretty simple. And she's registered, she's a dietitian or a nutritionist. She's a holistic nutritionist, but she explains all that stuff. And I tested myself when we tested my wife, and we were both deficient. But when I did that long fast, and I think it was the first part of November, I did a 6-day fast, and I hit a reset when I did it. And from the end of that fast until now, my body's warm. I don't have that chill and that cold that was affecting me. My hands aren't cold. My legs aren't. I was just cold all the time. And one of the things I like about fasting, because there are different resets at different times in a fast. And alternate day fasting, yeah, I'm going to get, well, now I'll get 14 days fasting. Alternate day fasting because I messed up, but I've got the time to do it. It's going to be 14 days out of the month, which is, that's a long fast, but it's broke up. I won't get the same benefits as I would of doing a straight 14-day fast, but I still get a lot of benefits. And one of them is the autophagy starting between 24 to 36 hours, because when I do the alternate day, when I'm fasting, I do go to 36 hours. You have Hashimoto, so you read Dr. Brownstein and Dr. Bright. You take glucose 2%. Yeah. And I have, some people could take that directly in their water and drink it. I can't. I can't handle the iodine taste. It's just too strong for me. It's just, even one drop in like 40 ounces of water, for me, is too much. I can't do it. But when I was drinking coffee, if I put 4 or 5 drops in my coffee, I never tasted it. So that is one thing that coffee was good for, was hiding that taste of the iodine. But yesterday I had issues with my coffee. I was going to have coffee yesterday for the first time in 5 or 6 weeks, and I made the coffee, and all of a sudden all I could smell was the mold that was in the coffee. Yeah, mold. And you do the Lugol's in your coffee, 2 drops. You're titrating it up slowly. Yeah. Yeah, when I stopped drinking the coffee, I was actually up to doing 5 drops in my coffee, and that's all the further I was going to go up to on that. So it worked. When I was to a point, it worked, I should say. At the end, when I was doing 5 drops in my coffee, it really wasn't making much of a difference as far as how cold I was getting. I wasn't as cold as I normally been, but I was still cold. It still happens. But just hitting that reset when I was fasting was absolutely a great thing for me to have happen. It was the only part of carnivore I didn't like, was how cold I was. I'm not there anymore, so big difference. Oh, now or here in a few minutes after I get done with this share meeting, one of my granddaughters, I have 7 grandkids. It's one of my granddaughter's birthday today, so after I get done with this meeting, I got to run and do some shopping with my wife, get her a present, do some running around. So it's gonna be another one of those fun days running around. And actually, I think our temperature has actually gone up now. Yesterday, my God, it was cold. Even though yesterday it said it was like 2 degrees above zero, it was absolutely brutally cold yesterday. Right now it says it's 10 degrees with a real feel of 12 below zero. Yesterday, when it was 2 degrees above zero, the real feel was in the 30s to 40s below zero. And it just went through anything that you were wearing. Your thyroid. My thyroid has 59 plus years of damage. Yep. I have to be careful with inflammation there. Yeah. The thyroid does so much for the body too. It's important to keep it healthy. And we've been misled on so much of that as to what is actually healthy. Your daughter's birthday is today. You're making her a cake. Well, happy birthday to her. That's awesome. We're going to be going up to my daughter's house for dinner tonight. So, of course, I won't be eating. I am going to be fasting. I'm not gonna mess up on this again today. And just prior to going up there, I know I'm going to go ice skating again from about 3:00. We'll be hitting the ice, going around and around. We got one of my granddaughters who really enjoys to go ice skating, and we go just about every Sunday. And we have been for a while now. Yeah, you won't have a cake either. It's nice to be able to make cake and have stuff for other people. I wish my family would eat this way. My son-in-law does. I'd like to see my daughters do it. All three of my daughters really need to do it. They have health issues that every one of their health issues can be directly linked to what they're eating, and they don't understand how simple it is to heal their bodies properly. There's some interesting studies going on right now. They've had some stuff that's been released not too long ago, but the things that a ketogenic diet does for your body and being in ketosis does, and things that it heals. Things as simple as, or as complicated, I shouldn't say as simple, things as complicated as autism. Not all autism, but a lot of the autistic people who are like on the edge or, slightly autistic can change that just by changing their diet and getting into a state of ketosis. And there's studies out there right now that people are trying to show one way or the other whether this goes through. You have 3 daughters. I have 3 daughters and 1 son. The girls are 3.5 years apart between the 3 of them, or 4 years apart between the 3 of them. And then my son is 9 years after the youngest daughter. My wife and I were trying to have another one. We wanted one more, and it wasn't happening. There's some other stuff going on, and she was doing some lab work and found out that she had polycystic ovarian syndrome, and she was told without fertility drugs, she wouldn't be able to have another child. And we proved him wrong. He did get pregnant one more time, and that was our son. Well, it was interesting. And even his name, when we named him, there's some interesting stuff that went around that too. They have been studying ketosis over 100 years now. Would like to see more. Mine are 4 years apart each. Fertility and finances stopped us. Yeah. And that's, especially when you're young and stuff, you really need that extra money to be able to raise a family. I can afford it much better now, but that's not something that's going to happen. Not possible anymore. Your wife did a natural birth after 2 C-sections, which is very rare. It is. My middle daughter had both of hers through C-section. My oldest and my youngest daughter were natural. But then all my wives were natural. So she's, when our son was born, it was pretty quick. Her doctor was female doctor. I'm 6'3", and she towered over me. She was a big lady, and my wife was in labor, and the doctor came in. She checked her. She grabbed me and put me on one side of my wife and threw my wife leg up on me. She went to the other side and told my wife to push, and the boy came out. I mean, it was like just a couple of minutes, and that was it. Wow. But he was born in Minnesota, so he thinks he needs to be a Minnesota fan. You don't, just because you were born there. You don't have to like those white queens and stuff. Just kidding. But there's a lot of stuff that could be done better financially now than we were when we were young. But, it is what it is. Even to medical bankruptcy after the third, yeah. And it's, medical bankruptcy, the way our medical system has really gone and cheated people is so bad. We have a hospital here that is absolutely terrible for their billing. They'll bill the patient 100% of their visit before the insurance ever comes and pays their portion of it. And even after insurance pays for it, they still try to get you to pay it at 100% rate. And they will take you to collections. And the judges here just fucking allow it. And it pisses me off. That was one of the very few things that we had issues with that too, where that was actually something that was being discussed, was that because of the way this medical place here is. And it's, for the longest time, it's the only one here in the town that we're at. I'm not going to mention them because, yeah. But that was one of the best things. The only thing I agreed with the previous administration is when they did away with the medical information on credit reporting. Your wife waited until 9 centimeters before going to the hospital. She pushed 5 minutes. Yep, it is nice when it only has to be short that time. Yeah, I feel for you on that because we were close to that a couple of times, and back in the day when you could go to the doctor, you go see the doctor and you pay $50 and you're for everything. Now you can't see a doctor without that. And the insurance isn't covering what it used to. It barely covers anything anymore, and they want more and more money for it. It's just terrible. But you're still alive and healed. Most friends aren't so thankful. Yeah. But it's nice now because after they took all that off the credit reporting, my credit score was a 0. And I went through and fixed my credit. After that, I got it up to actually pretty damn good. So that's why I was able to buy my wife a new car 2 years ago. I got myself a new car this year. It's not bad. As a kid, your doctor did house calls, used to hide when you saw his black bag. Yeah, that's funny. I don't ever remember a house call, but I remember doctors would do that. I don't think we ever did that. And we didn't really have medical insurance that I ever really remember. If we had to go to the doctor when I was young, we had to be sick. I mean, really, really sick. You didn't go to the doctor for cuts and scrapes and bruises. And, if you had to get stitches, you might end up going to the doctor. If you had a broken bone or something, you went to the doctor. But you had to have, if you were sick, you had to be sick for a long time before you went to a doctor. Just It's not what we did. And now that everything is covered under healthcare and everybody has to have healthcare and all this other crap, the healthcare is just garbage. It's no longer healthcare, it's sick care, and it's all about getting you hooked on to medications for life after stuff is going on. And that's something that I've never really wanted. I don't like taking medications. I never have. Yeah, there were only 8 or so vaccines. Now there's 50 plus. Yeah. And they've changed the definition of a vaccine. Vaccine prior to 2020, a vaccine prevented something. Now it doesn't. Now it can just make it less, but it still doesn't prevent anything from happening. I don't trust any of the vaccines that they have out there right now anyway. Just looking through some of the research that's out there and some of the information that's out there, there are a lot of things that indicate that the vaccines for things like polio and stuff, it was gone before the vaccine came out, but they're crediting the vaccine with getting rid of it. But it was already gone, so it wasn't the vaccine. It's just not right. Yeah, they changed it like 3 times in the last 5 years. Yeah. So trust the science. When the science, changed what they mean to fit their profit margin, yeah, I don't believe that stuff either. So, true science is questioning everything. And it changes. People that say that you have to trust the science and not question it, that's not science. So, just like the diet that we're eating, people don't believe in it because the science isn't there. You don't have all these studies and stuff. No, actually we do. We have millions, hundreds of thousands of years of study. That's how people lived. We didn't have stores. Test the science. Yep. And then first, do no harm. They keep forgetting that part. Do no harm. So, you take a vaccine and it causes heart issues. That's harm. You take a vaccine and people die because of the vaccine. That's harm. What was it? The smallpox vaccine that they had a handful of deaths from and they completely stopped it. But yet this one that we have going out there now for the last 4 years has been killing people and they don't do anything about it. They continue to let it go because it's about the profit. It's no longer about safety. It's no longer about healing people or doing no harm. It's about profits, and that's not what it should be. No disease process identified, no symptoms, don't intervene. Yep. Sometimes you just need to let stuff run its course, and then your body can build up the immunity to it. And then your body can share the immunity. Yeah, sick care is the model. It really is. It's not about getting you healthy. There's no profit for the pharmaceutical industry. There's no profit for doctors if you're healthy. Their profit comes from having you on a medication and having to come back every 3 to 6 months to be evaluated to make sure that you still need that medicine and you don't need an additional medication, that your side effects aren't up there so they can give you more. And I'm done with them. I'm so tired of all that. Oh, my glasses are bothering me. Now, these aren't my regular glasses. These are just readers. My regular glasses, they're bifocal. And the readers I have right here are the 1.25. That's the lowest ones you can get. My bifocals are at 2 on my regular glasses because that's how bad my eyes have been. and I can read better with my readers than I can with my bifocals, and it's not much of a difference right now for me to read what's on the screen without them. So my eyesight's getting better. Can't wait. Got another couple months and I'll be able to go to the eye doctor again because I can go once a year for my insurance and get my eyes checked. And I'm pretty sure that my eyes have gotten better because I see much better now. I can actually read the screen, everything that's on it, even the smaller print, I can read it without glasses. And the reason I'm using the readers is because I hate looking up like this to be able to read through the bifocals. Doing my work at my work, I work off of a couple of different monitors at the same time, so I'm looking back and forth and trying to do that like this here. Sometimes just drives me nuts. So I've been doing without my glasses for a while, and my eyes do get tired later in the morning when I'm doing some of my stuff. So I do put my readers on now and do some of the stuff like that. My eyes have gotten better. It's only been the last couple of months that it's been to the point where I can take my glasses off and actually read and not have issues. And that's awesome. No improvement on eyesight yet. Going to start the cake now. Good talking, my friend. Well, enjoy your celebration. You too. Have a good one, Bride Biscuit. And have a blessed day, man. It's a beautiful day out there. Enjoy the snow. But for the carnivore diet, it takes different healing for your body, depending upon what's going on, can take a long time. Some people have issues that don't get healed for a year or two or more, but it does heal. It gets better and better over time. It's just sometimes it takes time. My blood pressure, I was only taking medication for 4 years, but I was on 5 medications in 4 years. 5 every day that I took. Now, it only took me like 6 weeks to get off of all 5 of my medications. And that's simply because my body didn't need that much to heal from the high blood pressure. I wasn't suffering from it for a long time. But like my eyesight, my eyes have been bad for probably the last 20 years. And now it's clearing up. So it's going away. The inflammation in my eyes is healing. This part of my wrist right here, actually this whole top part, I've had this skin condition on this hand for almost 30 years. And right now, it's just right here. There's just a line that's probably my fingernail width right here that's still dry and it still itches. You'll see me doing this here because it's a habit that I do that. It's just a little bit dry right now. I have to towel on it and it's fine. But the whole back of my hand used to be covered in that. At one point, it went down my fingers and everything. And when it first happened, I cut that shit off with a fucking razor once, and the only thing that came back was the stuff that was on the side. Now, the stuff that was on the side here, this part here has been here the whole time. This is what started. At one point, it went all the way to this side of my hand. So this whole part of my hand was dry and scaly. It looked terrible. And there was nothing that would work on it. The only thing I've done differently is I've changed my diet. I haven't taken anything. I've tried all kinds of creams and lotions and stuff on it to try to keep it so it doesn't itch or so it can heal. None of that worked. A little bit of beef tallow on this here, and it'll be good for about a couple of days. I won't have to do it again. Yeah, just a nice way to And I can get my own beef tallow. I can render it right here in my house. I don't need to purchase it. I do have Wagyu beef tallow from the Chicago whatever packing company, meat packing, or whatever it is. And that's actually really good tallow. But I've saved trimmings from some of the steaks I've had. I've used that. I rendered that down. I've got 4 or 5 jars of tallow rendered down in my cupboard to keep being, shelf stable for forever, because it is what it is. But there are so many things that your body heals, and it takes so much time to heal the body. It's not always going to be quick. Sometimes it's going to take time. And sometimes people need more fat. Sometimes people need less fat. Each person's body will react differently to fat. But that is one thing that you do need, is you do need the animal fat. You have to find out what's right for you as far as the fat percentage. For me, I tracked all my calories from fat and from protein when I first started doing this. I use the Fitbit watch, so I have the app and I have the premium subscription to it. And the food part of it gives you the calories from fat, calories from protein, and calories from carbohydrates. So it tells you everything. And it makes it really simple. It gives you the grams of fat and grams of protein, and then the percentages. So it gives you great information. And by doing that, I was able to find where my body did the best. I was able to find that between like the 74, 76% calories from fat is where my body does really well. Has it changed? Maybe. I haven't experimented with adjusting my fat levels here recently, but I still eat about the same fat all the time. And it's just where my body feels the best. So, but if you're doing a carnivore diet or a ketogenic diet, and you're not tracking your macros for fat and protein, you could be missing out on the best and easiest way to find out what your body really needs. If you're tracking and you find that you're eating 70 to 80% of your calories from fat and you're not losing weight, you're not doing anything like that, then what are you really trying to do? If you don't track it, you don't know. There are some people who do better on a lower fat diet, and it works. One of the people, Jenny Minich, her husband, had to go to a lower fat, which is basically 45 to 60% of his calories from fat. And after he did that, he did great. Ferris, what about constipation? What about constipation? I've never been constipated on a carnivore diet. Fiber is not needed for you to go to the bathroom. Fiber, it actually does more damage to your body than it does good. You don't need fiber. You don't need plants. One of the people that I follow on YouTube here, his name is Lee. He goes by Kent Carnivore. He's in England, and he lost part of his intestine due to plants, basically, due to fibers. So he has a colostomy bag, and this is before he was carnivore that this all happened. And since he has gone carnivore, what he has noticed is when you eat vegetables and you eat fibrous plants, including breads and any of the vegetables, fruits, they come out just as you swallow them into the bag. But when you eat meat, it doesn't. It's absorbed by your body. You don't need fiber, and you don't go as often. Plant-based diet or standard American diet is a plant-based diet and lean meats. You need the fat. The fat is what makes it so that you can go easy. But on a plant-based diet or a standard American diet, how many times are people going in a day? 2, 3, some people go even more a day. I will go once or twice a week, and I eat up to 2 pounds of meat a day. My body uses all of that. I'll eat. The other day I ate, amazingly, I ate 4,500 calories of meat on Tuesday. I didn't gain any weight. And since Tuesday, I haven't gone to the bathroom. I haven't had to. I haven't had to go. It just, your body uses it all. You have very little waste to get rid of when you're not eating fibers. So you don't have to worry about it. But now I'm going to get going. I do have a date with my wife, and we got to go do some grocery shopping because, it's that time. Let me see here real quick. I think that was right. Oh, no problem. And I come here, I do this here on Saturdays and Sundays. If you want to talk more, feel free to. It's one of the biggest myths that people put out there is your need for fibers. And for you to be healthy, you have to have it. You don't. Hey, look, there's Larry. Now, the plant-based diet is actually one of the causes of many of our issues that people have with their lives. Plant-based diets are what's fueling all the illnesses that are going on with people. Insulin resistance is a terrible thing. It affects your body in so many ways. And to heal from it, the easiest thing to do is to eliminate processed foods and eliminate the sugars. So, swamp rat, carnivore for life. Heck yeah, that's the way to go. But I'm getting ready to head out. You guys have a great weekend. If you want to continue a conversation on the carnivore diet, I encourage you to go to this link below. That's Carnivore Quest, and they're doing a live stream right now with Larry, and he's been doing this for several years. I've learned so much from Larry in the last 6 months. I've been chatting with him and doing these live streams with him. If you guys want to learn more and continue the chat, head over to Carnivore Quest. Say hi to Larry. Be a part of the chat. It's what the live stream is all about. With that, y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you again here, same time, Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. Central. Thanks.